welcome back to another cleaning video here at Home with Anna. I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope that you guys are ready for a little bit of housekeeping motivation. We are starting off here in my bedroom. I'm going to get my clean sheets put back on the bed. I'm still using my winter flannel sheets because, well, it's still cold here, and we're still in February. I don't think I'll change these out until probably mid-March. I'm not sure. We shall see. But they are so darn comfortable. They're not the classiest of sheets. I mean, you know, they're flannel and they've got like a winter theme on them with trees, pine trees and animals and what have you. But they are so darn comfortable. Our bed during the winter is one of those beds that you just melt into and you don't want to get out of in the morning. Yeah, it's going to be hard to change these out. But good news is we get warm here and my bedding completely changes during the warm months. So we're just going to go ahead and get the bed made up. We're going to do some dusting here in the room. And you can see that I have the bag still from my closet declutter. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. It is working out really well. And the beauty of decluttering clothing is now when I get ready, I go in there, I get ready, choose my clothes. Now the amount of clothing that I have hanging is so minimal that if I see I'm not wearing anything this winter, because that's pretty much all I have hanging up is like winter, like warmer clothes, long sleeve, I don't know. You know what I mean? And so if I don't wear it this season, then I know I can get rid of it. So I'm also putting on clothes that, you know, I forgot I had, like the blouse I'm wearing in this video. You can see I got my hair done. I got about 4 or 5 inches cut off, which is lovely. It's just sweeping my shoulders. And got a lot lighter. It's a lot lighter. And the reason for that is because I am 100%, well, I'm going to say I'm about 95% gray. And I'm tired of fighting it. I've been fighting it for years. I started graying when I was like 18, but really started showing when I was in my 20s. And so, yeah, so I'm not fighting it anymore. I'm just going to continue to get highlights and, you know, eventually I'm going to be blonde and gray. And that's just the way that is. We've moved into the kitchen. I was very excited to see that I didn't run the dishwasher the night before, so I was able to just load it up and get that taken care of. And we're just doing my everyday housekeeping. I refuse to leave my home before certain things are done so that when I come home from whatever errands that I have or appointments I have, my home is clean when I get home and I can relax. So I do this without fail before I leave each time, and it's always a good feeling to come home to a clean home. So how are you guys doing? Are you guys getting excited for spring? I was standing out front saying goodbye to the kids the other day, and I noticed that I have some green peeking out of the ground. And didn't the groundhog say we were going to have an early spring this year? Well, hopefully he's right, and if he's not, I'm going to wring his neck. However, I'm not jumping the gun. I'm not going to get out there and start doing spring gardening because I know that we are fully capable of having another freeze and possibly another snow. So I'm just going to kick back and not go out there and do anything I might regret. But I am so pumped and so ready for spring. I found myself driving by Lowe's and Home Depot the other day just to take a peek and see if they started putting plants out. And no, they haven't. It's way too early. I could go to the actual garden centers and probably buy some things to put in the ground, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. I'm super excited for some new gardens I'm going to be adding to my property this year. So be looking for those if you are somebody who started following me when I was gardening. We have some pretty exciting gardens coming up, so I'm excited about that. But so the pendant lights aren't something I would typically do before leaving, but I just happened to look up and saw that they were starting to get nasty. And, you know, I cook a lot, and these pendant lights just, oh my goodness, they collect so much grease and dust. I've got to really stay on top of them. And since I had out my spray away, I decided to run into the bathroom and freshen that up. I keep a pretty clean, tidy guest bath, but there are areas like the light up above the mirror that I forget to dust often and honestly believe this is the first time I'm dusting it since we installed it when we did the bathroom makeover. So those, aren't two things. The pendants and that light isn't something that I typically would do before leaving the house, but the freshening up of the bathroom and that type of thing. And then I had some laundry going from early in the morning. I woke up early and started laundry right away. I got the sheets washed and dried and then started laundry so that I could have that going early. So I just wanted to change that out and get that folded and put away. It's really nice to have those kinds of things done before you leave the house. So are you somebody who doesn't care? I know I have plenty of friends. They're like, I don't care. I'll get to it when I get home. Or are you at a stage of life where, you know what, I got to get my housework done before I go out and enjoy my life. That's kind of the person I am. I just, I don't remember exactly when I graduated to that, but I remember my mom always doing that. She was always the person that said, oh, I have to do A, B, C, and D before I leave. I want to come home to a clean house. And it's kind of the same concept of when you go on vacation. I have not met a woman yet that hasn't said she likes to deep clean her home and have it spotless before she leaves on vacation or on a trip, even if it's just a weekend away. And my mom, was like that. But I think that, and I can't really remember when I graduated to this, having to do all this housework stuff. But it feels good to get it done. So anyways, we are going to do that. I'm going to run to the grocery store, and then I'm going to give you guys a quick haul. Housework is done. I've got my list. Now I'm going to run to the grocery store and pick up everything that I need, and I will meet you guys back here when I'm done.
I was knocked down, heard the countdown through the haze, in the face of defeat, yeah. I was ruled out with no bailout, on my own, all alone, left to bleed out. But I rose up from the ground, just like I was spellbound. All the odds were against me, so I picked up the pace, and now I'm in the race. Give me some space. I'm a movement and I ain't losing. Gonna go.
Okay, a quick haul. So let's start here with the produce. Some of the produce, I have it all over here. Yes, okay. I got 2 bags of the Honey Crisp apples. We love these, they are so good. I got some seedless green grapes, some mandarin oranges, some shredded green leaf lettuce, and this is for our enchiladas tonight. Some Roma tomatoes for salsa, some green onions for enchiladas, and the Mexican style blended shredded cheese. I got this for our enchiladas tonight. We needed more pancake mix. I picked that up. I got 2 of these cute little drink thingies for the grandbabies. Peppa Pig for granddaughter, and then one of my grandsons, he's 8, and he still likes to drink out of these, so I got him the Hulk. Some paper plates are everyday, and then for dinner tonight, I got the nice heavy-duty big ones. See, sliced oh my gosh, olives. This was $4.19 a can. Oh my gosh. For the enchiladas, it's turning out to be an expensive enchilada dish. I got some Valentine cakes because I thought for dessert, I got these little Bluebell Dutch chocolate and homemade vanilla little cups. So I thought they could have cake and ice cream for dessert tonight. So there's that. I got some Honest Kid juices, some flushable wipes. I needed fabric softeners. I got the Calm Downy. I got some Shout. I needed this when I did my closet clean out. I realized that I need to be treating stains. So I got that. Some Lactaid, 2% milk, some beans, and I usually make them fresh, but I like to have these on hand. We're going to use these tonight for dinner. The enchiladas I'm making call for green enchilada sauce, so I got 2 of those. Got some toothpaste, some multivitamins, French vanilla, and regular creamer for Ernie and I, and then the kids, my son and daughter-in-law, like this in case they want a cup of coffee tonight. And I got 3 different kinds of cereal, Life for me. And then when I'm craving something sweet, the peanut butter crunch is my favorite. It's like dessert. But also the grandkids, when they come over, sometimes they just want a sugary cereal. So I always like to have something like that on hand. 2 things of tortilla chips. These are our favorite, on the border, cafe style, for dinner tonight. Here's the chicken. My recipe calls for 3 chicken breasts. There's 5 here. I'm doubling the recipe. This will be plenty. So we got to get these boiling here in a minute. Sour cream for enchiladas. This is our favorite yogurt, the black cherry. It's so good. And 2 things of bacon and some corn tortillas. And then some toilet paper and paper towels. And that is it, $295. Yikes, now let me get everything put away. So the habits that I do, and before I leave, those are daily habits to keep a clean home as well. I guess I should mention that because I do get questions from people and they say, how do you keep your house clean? Well, I do have an advantage. It is mostly myself here by myself all the time. So I have that advantage. I don't have adult children living with me. I don't have relatives living with me. My husband isn't home all the time. It's just me. So it's fairly easy to keep up after myself, obviously. But there are things that get dirty even if you're not using them, and they get dirty with dust or they get dirty with grease, and you've got to keep up on things. Now, how I keep up on my bathroom. So if I neglect my bathroom for, let's say, a week or 2 weeks, the master bath, if I neglect that for a week or 2 weeks because I'm busy doing other things around the house, like recently, I've been deep cleaning, and I had neglected my bathroom for a solid 2 weeks. I was doing very minimal anything in there, and it showed. I mean, the bathroom, you shower in it every day, and you brush your teeth twice a day, you wash your face, all of those things, and just dust buildup and all of that stuff. So every day, if I go in there and I shake the rug out and I wipe the counters down and clean the sinks out and scrub the toilet every other day, or what have you, my home is going to stay clean. And this would be the same even if you had people living with you. So these are kind of habits for day-to-day living and keeping a tidy home. And I'm assuming that most of you that watch these videos, you watch them for 2 reasons. You either really just enjoy watching other people clean. You're good at it. You've got your routine down. Your house stays clean, but you just enjoy watching cleaning videos. Or you're somebody that needs the motivation. I'm a little bit of both. I love watching other people clean messes, and just weird that way. So thankfully they exist. But I also sometimes just need the motivation. I need the motivation to continue to keep my house neat and tidy. I'm not immune to being lazy at all. And sometimes I just want to go outside and play. Spring and the beginning of summer is really the time of year that I need to really stay on task, because I would prefer to just be outside playing in the dirt all the time. And my housework will suffer if I do that. So I just wanted to throw that in there. So every time I come home with produce and fruit and veggies and all that kind of stuff. And I think I forgot to show you guys that I got serrano peppers for salsa. But every time I come home with produce, I always get my big silver bowl that I got at IKEA. And I fill that up with water and vinegar, and I toss all my produce in there and I let it soak while I do other things. And then I come back and I rinse everything off. But it is a great natural way to disinfect your produce and to clean it and get it real nice and clean. I like to do that before I put anything away. So I just wanted to toss that in there in case people were wondering, what the heck is she doing? What is she pouring in that water? They sell a wash in the produce section that you can use as well, but vinegar works just fine. I've been using it forever. Now I'm just rinsing everything off and setting it out to dry. I like to try and dry everything pretty well before I put it away. And then we're going to check on the chicken, and we're going to start prepping our ingredients for the enchiladas. I like to have everything prepped in an assembly line before I start putting it together. You guys have probably seen me make enchiladas before, but I came up with this recipe one day. I was going to make enchiladas, and I said, I'm really tired of my enchiladas not being full of flavor, and I just tested this out, and oh my goodness. And I remembered as soon as I was putting, done putting the spices together, I ran over to the computer and typed it up really quick, and oh my goodness, it's so good, you guys. I cannot even tell you. I said, oh my gosh, I've got game. I've got recipe game. I could do this. So I love to cook. I'm always in the kitchen. I love making meals for my family. It's something that I've always enjoyed doing, is feeding people. If you come over to my house, I'm going to shove food down your throat. It's just what I do. I love to feed people. And so I'm pretty well aware of what, spices go together well and what don't. And I'm not afraid to take chances. So anyways, the way I do this is probably going to be a little different. The way I add my spices to my meat. But trust me, trust the process. You guys are going to love the way the flavor is in these enchiladas. Okay, you guys, I'm going to show you, now that we've got our veggies prepped and our chicken prepped, I'm going to show you guys how I make my Chipotle chicken. And there's a couple of things that we don't have that I completely forgot at the store, go figure. I need tomato sauce, an 8-ounce can, and I also need half of a large onion. But I don't have those items, so I'm going to be using a double concentrate tomato paste. So good news is, it is versatile, you can do that. And then I don't have the onion, but I did chop up some green onions, so I'm gonna use some of that in its place. So anyway, so we have a pan here. And the first thing we're gonna do is add a couple tablespoons of avocado oil. This is a recipe that I played with, and my palm right here is a tablespoon. It's a tablespoon. I don't know. I can fill a tablespoon up, and let me show you. So this is Chipotle seasoning, and this is a tablespoon, and there. That's how you know what a tablespoon is. So the recipe I'm doubling, so I'm going to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of Chipotle seasoning. I'm using the Danos, the low sodium, 0 calories. It's delicious. And I know it sounds funny, we're adding it to the oil, but let me tell you, when you cook your herbs, it is amazing, the taste. We have cumin here, and we are doing 2 tablespoons of cumin as well. This is probably just under 2 tablespoons of oregano. Okay, it is very important that you, let's see, I have this on a 6, but I just lowered it to a 4. It is very important that you keep this moving. I'm gonna take it off the heat here because I don't want Sorry, it took a minute for me to find my little spatula. So I've got my lovely spices, and now they're super fragrant. My pan was hot. Now we're going to add our half of an onion, but we're using the green onion. So we cook the spices until they turn dark in color and they're really fragrant. But you want to keep them moving in the pan. You don't want to burn your spices, okay? So now I have the onion in here, and we're going to cook the onion until it's soft along with the spices. But again, you want to keep this moving. Do not walk away from the stove at this point. We're gonna go ahead and add 2 garlic cloves. You can mince these or use your garlic press, whatever's easier. I love my garlic press. And we're only going to saute this until the garlic becomes fragrant. When you can smell the garlic, it's time to add the next ingredient. Okay, here is my tomato paste in lieu of my tomato sauce. This is double concentrate, so I don't need too much. We add a little bit of water to this. There we go. Smells so good. A little bit more water. There we go. Now I have the stove on very low. I'm about to turn it off, but I'm going to add some salt. About a teaspoon of salt. Some freshly ground black pepper. Give that a twirl of the pan. And that is it. Now we're going to add our chicken. And we are going to add it and toss it to coat. I'm showing you a different way of making it. So what I would do at this point, I have some chicken broth. I'm just gonna add a little bit of chicken broth just to help that sauce coat all of the chicken. You don't want any big chunks in your enchiladas, okay? Because we do the stackable enchiladas. You can roll these, you can stack them, totally up to you. Maybe I'll show you both ways. A little bit more moisture back in there. It's delicious, you guys. Okay, we have our chicken. We have our enchilada sauce. I do not heat it up. I just put it in a bowl large enough that my tortillas will fit in. Green onion, olives, and cheese. I have my pan that I'm stacking enchiladas. So I'm gonna use this to stack, and if I have enough left over, then we'll do some rolled ones, and I'll show you how to do that. But I'm gonna go ahead and get oil heated up here so I can fry my corn tortillas before we get them in the sauce and in the pan and start building our enchiladas. I want you to promise me that if you do this recipe that you come back to this video and you comment and tell me how you liked them. So we are just frying, adding into the sauce, and dipping them into the sauce and then putting them in a layer at the bottom of the pan, and we are going to repeat this process until the bottom of the pan is covered, and then we're going to add the chicken, the olives, the green onions, and the cheese. And you want to make sure to get all of those ingredients spread out evenly in each layer so that every time you take a bite, you get all of the yumminess. I always add a couple of tablespoons of the sauce over the chicken after I put it in. It just helps to keep them moist, and that way they don't go dry when you get them in the oven. We've been making enchiladas stackable for many years. My grandma used to make them individually. She would make them just like this, but she would stack them whole on a plate. So you'd have a whole tortilla, and then she'd do her ingredients, and then she'd do another tortilla on top of that on the actual dinner plate. She'd stick the dinner plate in the oven, let the cheese melt, and then she would serve it hot, just like that with some rice and some beans. We had beans on this evening. I made no rice, but Anyways, and then that transitioned into us just doing it in a casserole way. And so it's just much nicer when you're feeding large crowds to have it like this. Rolled is just fine, but it just takes a little bit more work, a little bit more time. And I think that, you know, it doesn't change the flavor. You have all the same flavors, whether you stack it or roll it. But anyways, we're just going to continue this process until we have a whole tray of enchiladas done. And then I do have some left over, so I'm just going to show you how I roll them as well when I do those. A couple of side notes here. When you're frying the tortillas, you are not frying them like you would a tostada. You're not trying to fry them hard. You just want them pliable, so keep that in mind when you're doing that. Also, you might be tempted to use a red enchilada sauce. I am telling you, do not. If you use a red enchilada sauce, you are going to have too many complicated flavors together. I considered the red enchilada sauce when I was coming up with this recipe, and I went against it because one of the things that I do not like is when I go to a restaurant and I order a dish and the chef has put together something that is really complex. So he adds a lot of different complex flavors together and it's just too much. So that's what I felt like the red enchilada sauce was going to do. So I chose green because it is a much more mild sauce. My mother-in-law, she puts the tortilla in the sauce and then she fries them. And then she fills them and rolls them, and she uses the tongs to roll them. I don't heat my enchilada sauce up. I don't see a need for it. So I don't have that problem. I can just simply dip my tortilla in the sauce after I fried it, fill it, and roll it. And this is all you have to do, you guys. I mean, most of you probably have done this before, but just in case there's somebody out here who wants to make a lovely rolled tray of enchiladas, this is how you do it. It's not complicated. And we used every bit of it to make this little small tray. This is what, an 8x8, and this large tray. So perfect. Now I gotta get my mess cleaned up. The stove is always a disaster. I don't even think I mentioned while I was cooking. Ernie was on his way home. He was going to be home in just, I don't know, maybe he came home while I was steam mopping, which you guys will see in just a little bit. But, and then the kids were coming over for dinner on this evening, which is why I kind of stocked the house up with sugary stuff and fruits. And I was cooking. They were coming over to eat. And so that is why I was making such a big meal. So no, I didn't make it just for myself. But it was nice to have leftovers, I will tell you that. So the kitchen is always a complete disaster after I make enchiladas. I clean as I go. I try, but enchiladas are kind of hard because I have the assembly line. I'm using sauce and oil. The stove is always a disaster. And also I had just came from the grocery store, so I had stuff that needed to get put away still, the produce. But anyways, I try and start with a clean slate, especially when I'm having company over. And so I always like to have the dishwasher empty, and that way after dinner we can just load up. However, on this evening I did buy some of those fancy heavy duty paper plates so that it was even easier on me to just use those. But then I decided I wanted to make some more salsa. I noticed that my homemade salsa was almost gone, so I'm going ahead and wrapping up some chile and tomatoes to get those on the stove. I just wrap them in foil and put them directly on the fire and let them cook. And then when I can smell the tomato and I can smell the chili, I turn the fire off, let them cool, throw them in a blender, blend it up, add some salt. If you're going to serve like serve it right away with something and you want to add cilantro and onion, fresh onion, you can, but only add it to the amount you're going to serve for the meal. Do not add it to what you're storing because it will make your salsa go rancid quicker. So that is why you never see me add cilantro or onion to my salsa. So and we just like it this way. Roasting it directly on the fire in the foil gives it that blackened finish, and that adds flavor to the salsa as well. So anyways, we are going to get this kitchen cleaned up so that we can enjoy our company and our meal later. One of the things that I love to do, and I always make sure to do, is make sure that the house is well stocked, well clean, laundry done, and just smells good when Ernie walks in the door. So that could be food cooking, it could be a cup of coffee brewing, but I like him to walk into a home, you know, when it's not late at night, and have a very welcoming feel, like, I'm home. He had texted and said that he was in the Uber and on his way home at this point, so I was really rushing to finish getting the kitchen cleaned up so I could vacuum and steam mop. I didn't get to steam mop on this day. He came home while I was vacuuming and said, "Why? Why are you steam mopping? The kids are coming over. Wait until the morning." And he was right. So I still show it in the video. You'll see me. I wake up the next day and I get it done. But he was right. Why do I do that? Why do I think I need to steam mop the floors before a bunch of people are coming over? I do not know. But I'm going to get the paper towels and the toilet paper put away in my cleaning closet. That cleaning closet is a thorn in my side, and I'm going to say it every video. It comes up. I want the shelves built out in here so badly so that I can get this organized properly. So I and I'm putting pressure on Ernie, but I'm not putting pressure on him. I just keep bringing it up, like, hey, how about that cleaning closet? Or when I'm in here trying to put stuff away and organize it, I'm like, wow, it'd be really nice to have shelves. So hopefully he can get that done very, very soon for me, because I would be very appreciative of that. But I'm going to go ahead and vacuum because the floor desperately needed. I feel like my floors always need vacuuming. You guys, I get dust bunnies. Where do they come from? I don't have windows open. I don't have ceiling fans going. Where are the dust bunnies coming from? I could literally vacuum, and maybe 4, 5, 6 hours later, I could be walking past the dining room table and I look under and there's like 3 or 4 little dust bunnies. Where are they coming from? Do I have a dust bunny fairy in my house? I do not know. Drives me insane. Probably the laundry room. That's the most logical. It's probably come from the laundry room, when I'm opening the door and, folding clothes and what have you. But anyways, drives me nuts. I could vacuum all day, every day, whatever. Oh, really quick. If you've made it this long, thank you. I have been doing some really long videos lately, but I update on my subscriber. I met with her. We had a fabulous visit, a fabulous day, actually, when I took her to lunch and took her to the antique store, and it was just fabulous. Visited with her and her lovely husband, and I just love it. I have a new friend, and I hope she feels the same way about me. We just had such a good time. Designed her bedroom, but she is leaving back to California for a couple of months because she works at her dad's tax business, and so she is going back to help him one last time, and so she'll be gone for a couple months. So went over there, we discussed the design, I put the design together, I sent it to her, they love it. I sent her a list of everything that I found for the bedroom. They're going to, look over the budget, see what they can do. We'll figure it out. But we're going to put it together when she gets back. In the meantime, her husband's going to paint the room the color and hopefully get the nightstands. And that way when she comes home, we can add all the other things. So it's going to be a minute before we get that video out to you guys, but we want it done right. She wants it done right. I want to do it right for her. And I don't want to do a rush job. So we don't have the proper amount of time to do it before she takes off. So we are going to be tackling that when she gets home. So it's coming. I promise it's coming. But in the meantime, I'm getting a new sofa. That's coming up in another video. And, just stuff. Stuff is, my usual, all that. We have lots to look forward to, don't we? Lots to be thankful for, lots to look forward to. I want to thank you guys so much for watching today. I appreciate you guys so very much. You don't even know it. I hope that you guys are getting inspiration and motivation and all of the things from my channel. I hope that you're getting what I'm giving and you're receiving it, because that is why I do these videos. I don't just throw a camera up and say, look at me, I'm cleaning my house. I'm doing it with purpose to help motivate and excite you guys about being homemakers. So I hope that is coming through on the videos. But either way, I want to thank you so much for staying till the end. I appreciate you so very much. And we will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.